select from the table. Now we get sequential good values, sequential GUID values, right? That way it will give some unique IDs. So sequential IDs are a bit faster to generate than new IDs. Some sequential IDs are a bit faster than new IDs. See in the next one, right? Update statement. How to use update statement? You already know how to create table, how to insert data, and how to update the data. Update the data with new. Update statement is used to update existing data in the table. How to update existing data, right? Update statement. See, syntax: update table name, which table name, and set which set you want to update. Column 1 is equal to column 1, column 2, like where conditions. This is the syntax, update syntax. See, I want to update products. Update product, set price is equal to 5.5, where product name is equal to sports hat. Sports hat product. So sports hat product price name I want to update as 5.5. Right, if you want to change that the price of sports hat in the products table, just simply update that products table name and set price is equal to 5.5, which you want to, and where condition you have to use, where product name is equal to sports hat, right? Like so update products is equal to uh, like this also you can operate. Set price is equal to price into 1.1, and category name is equal to clothing. Here where product name, here the product name, where product name will be sports hat, that product name sports hat, price will be like that, and category will be clothing. So use an update statement. Challenges, let's see. Update challenges is very simple. Use an update statement to change Miram's last name from Yardley to Greenberg in the developer employee table. Identify Miram by her employee ID number in the where clause for the update statement. Then probability the rows. See, let's see. From developer employees update developer employees, set last name is equal to Greenbank, where employee is equal to 2. See, initially that Miram is there, and Miram I want last name Greenbank. Greenbank as last name. Here Adley is there, right? For ID 2 I want last name as Greenbank. See, just execute. Greenbank. See, delete statement. How to use delete statement? Let's see. Delete statement use it to delete rows from a table, particular rows. By using where condition you can delete. Delete syntax is delete from table, which table, and the columns, tables, and condition where that if you want to delete something, right, you have to give have to specify which one you want to delete. So delete from products table, where product name is equal sports hat product I want to delete. Like that, the statement will delete rows from the products table which have a product name of sports hat. Delete from table. This statement will delete all the rows from the product. It simply did not mention anything. It will delete all the rows from the table, right? Here another way to delete all the rows in a table is to use truncate also. Truncate table, truncate table statement. By using truncate table statement, you can delete entire rows at a time. Use a delete statement to delete employee Scott Davis. Just do some challenges on this. Scott Davis from employees table, identify Scott by employee ID number in the where clause for the delete statement. Let's see. Stop the video and practice this. Use sample database go and delete from. See here, Scott Davis is there. I want to delete that. Employee ID 1, where employee 1, delete from the employee dbo.employee where employee ID is equal to 1. Like this, you have to mention that, specify, right? Truncate table. Let's see later truncate table. How to truncate? See, truncate table statement can be used to delete all rows in a table. Truncate table, table name. Truncate table, table name. Truncate table name products. See, delete from how to, what is the difference between truncate and table? Here, say in a delete statement we can specify an optional where clause. Truncate does not support any where clause. It will delete all the rows. Delete records and entries into the transaction log for each row that is deleted. Truncate uses an optimized logging mode and is therefore faster than delete. So, and delete does not reset a column which has the identity property. Truncate will reset a column which has identity property back to the seed value. Delete can be used on a table that is referenced by a foreign key, provided that there are no related rows in the child table. Truncate cannot be used on a table that is referenced for a foreign key in another table. So if on table is referenced with another table like with foreign key, the truncate will not acceptable. For delete you can mention, you can use delete even though it is in a relationship with other table. If you need to delete all the rows in a table, then it generally recommend to use truncate table statement. The main reason in the truncate table is much faster. In SQL Server, both delete and truncate table statements can be rolled back if they are within a transaction. Right? You can roll back both the statements. Remember, you can roll back both delete and truncate in
For
SQL
people who
Server.
might be used to working in some other databases, such as Oracle.
Right? Drop table. Drop table statement. How to use drop table statement? Drop table statement can be used to completely remove a table from the database. See, if you want to remove the table from database, simply drop table the products where table is dropped, then all the associated index and constraints on the table are also dropped. Right? In this way you can use drop drop table name, drop table name, the syntax. This is the syntax. Sorry. Drop command can use in by alter command also in alt, along with alter command you can use alter table database, the template table. uh, Drop constraint, if you want to drop any constraint, foreign key constraint, you can drop like this. Right, to dedicate right. So I have just written alter table dbo drop constraint and constraint name here. Let's go to one object explorer. Here see employees keys, primary key, foreign key is there, foreign key fk employment. See this foreign key name, so you can directly drag like this or like that also. Drop, you can drop like that also. Right? Execute. Like that you can see select table. There is no table, department table was dropped. Right? So by using if conditions, drop table if exists, department id, drop table if exists. If object id, if any object like this, n sample database department and n hyphen u, object id is not null, drop table. If object is not null, then drop table department. these object IDs in drop table, a department table object ID is there, and the object ID field will be like this. You can drop, right? Transactions. Let's see transactions, what it means. Transactions, what it means. Transaction is a single unit of work, sometimes made up of multiple operations. For example, a transaction could consist of one or more SQL statements which change data in a table. In order to maintain consistency in a database, a transaction should have four properties as given by the ACID acronym. ACID is not atomic consistency, isolation, durability, right? A transaction should be atomic. This means that either all the statements within the transactions are successfully saved or none of them are saved. We do not want some statements to succeed and some that fail. Instead, it should be all or nothing, right? When a change is saved to the database, we say that it has been committed to the database. Transactions should be consistent. This means that a transaction should move the database from one consistent state to another. All data remains valid according to defined rules such as constraints, right? This means that each transaction occurs in isolation. In other words, no transaction will be affected by another transaction when a transaction is isolated. Then multiple transactions can occur independently of each other without interference. Let's see, think about situation. Some
Button first. Purchases 8.
think about situation where there are two customers buying the same product from a website. There are 10 units of the products left in stock. The customer who clicks buy button first purchase the 8 units of the product in a transaction. Then the transaction then gets committed, right? And only after it gets committed, that's the second customer transaction going forward. Therefore, a second customer is limited to only buying up to 2 units of the products, as that is already left remaining in stock after the first customer's transaction. That isolation property ensures that both these transactions occur independently, right? And second customer transaction is only completed after the first customer's transaction is completed. So this ensures that we don't end up selling more units, right? Okay, let's look at the final property. Finally, a transaction should be durable. This means that the changes made by a successful transaction are committed to the database and will persist even if a system failure event occurs. For example, if a power failure event were to occur, so good transaction should process all four, right? All four. Let's go for some notes about SQL Server deals with transactions. A transaction is successful if no errors are raised. If a transaction encounters errors, then it must be cancelled or rolled back. Therefore, no data modifications are committed. If a transaction is encountered, the default mode of SQL Server is that it auto commits every successful SQL statement. This means that if you successfully execute a statement such as an insert statement, then it will be automatically committed to the database. Committed means save. Let's go through it. We can define a split transaction by using a begin transaction statement. This can then be ended with either a commit or rollback statement. It is common to put an explicit transaction within a stored procedure. See, okay, see. Here we are showing some couple of rows from the products table. Down below we have a couple of rows from the straight inventory table. child inventory table, parent table, child inventory table. Child inventory table is a child table to products table, and this relationship is enforced for a foreign key relationship. Product side column in the inventory table, right? This one can ensure that product ID in the inventory table are valid product IDs that first exist in the products table. Alright, so we might get one product which exists at multiple warehouses as given by the inventory table. Let's say we want to add the following product. Here we are inserting a new product called PBX printer to the products table, and note that the product ID has the identity property. Therefore the product value is auto generated, and product ID value is auto generated, and in this example the value is generated after we have updated that product. We also want to update that inventory table with the following rows. So we have this new product in stock at a couple of different warehouses. So we have 100 units at warehouse 1 and 50 units at warehouse for the insert. And that child table, the inventory table can also occur after we add the new product to the product table, because we got the foreign key reference back to the product table. So we always update the parent table first, then the child first, then the child table. Therefore we want to capture the product ID value generated by the identity property. When we do that first insert statement into the product table, we then will store this value in a variable, use it insert variable, and use it when we insert our rows into the inventory table. See, moreover we want to do this all in one transaction, because we even want the whole thing to work on, right? None of it. The last thing we want is for this piece of work to only partially. We do not want to be left with only one table with new data and not the other. Okay, let's look at how we can achieve this in the transaction. Begin a new transaction, like begin transaction semicolon, begin transaction semicolon, declare a variable, and in this case I call the variable a new product ID. Declare a variable called new product ID, new product ID value, there is new product ID integer, given the data type. In this case it is a data type integer. We insert the new product into the products table, and in the products table the product value is generated by identity property. Probably recall that we do not specify identity columns in the insert statement, and this is because they just get automatically populated in the background after that. And use a function called scope underscore identity, that this function returns the value inserted into the identity property within the same scope. So in this case the scope is just back. We then set the new product ID variables equal to the value returned to the scope identity function. We do this by writing keyword set, then we give the variable name equal to the value returned by the scope identity function, and with scope identity function, see, we just have a pair of empty parentheses on the end here, then finish the statement. We have our semicolon. Let's say this insert statement generates a new ID value of 80. This means that the scope identity function will return that 80. We are going to store it is the new product variable, right? to insert the inventory information for the new product, we are inserting 2 rows into the inventory the table, and notice that we just passed the new product IDs where variables into the values class of the insert value class of the insert. And after this, the final step is that we can make the changes. So to commit the transaction, we just write commits transaction commits transaction. Note that the keyword transaction is optional, so some people just write commit semicolon and then we'll do the same thing, right? The key thing to remember is that this commit will only happen in both statements are successful. If one of them fail, then the whole thing roll back. Okay, thanks. One more time, declare new product ID integer, insert the new product ID, the product value is generated by the identity property, insert into OS products product name category ID list, discontinue and values. Set new product is equal to scope identity. Let's see stored procedures later. We will cover the stored procedure concept in next session. It's very important.